Check out the Messenger online at www.messenger-news.com. Get all your local news, sports, and weather in one place with extra content you can't get anywhere else. Search for your favorite team or news in your area, and be sure to follow us on Facebook so you never miss a thing. Get the full story on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. Visit us today at www.messenger-news.com.
So I grew up in the Panhandle in Plainview, Texas. I went to Texas Tech University, and after I graduated, I went into the energy industry.
Okay.
So I worked for Amoco BP in midstream operations up in Tulsa, and I moved to Dallas with TXU and worked in the natural gas side and the electric side of the world. And I've always loved the energy sector. It's challenging, it's complex, you never know everything, there's always something else to learn. And a friend of mine told me, you really need to look at co-ops if you love energy that much. And so I started looking, and I think Houston County or Crockett found me as much as I found Crockett. And that's what brought me here to Houston County Electric Co-op.
Well, for those of us who aren't familiar with the full sort of picture, what exactly does the co-op do? How does it work? How does it all come together?
We deliver energy to businesses and individual consumers throughout parts of 9 counties. We operate in the rural areas, not within city limits typically, with Kennard being our one exception. But co-ops were designed years ago because there was no financial incentive for investor-owned utilities to build out to the rural members because it was just too cost prohibitive. So co-ops, a group of members banded together and created an organization to where they serve each other and they contribute equally to the financial or proportionally to the financial health of the organization. In turn, they get electric service. And any profits that we make are allocated back to our members.
Mm-hmm.
So we operate on a nonprofit basis. You know, we need a little margin to operate, but everything we make goes back to our members, and we stay local. So that's the other big difference between us and other utilities is that we're 100% local. If you have a complaint, we're the stop. Here's where we come.
Well, tell us about your role specifically and some of your accomplishments, things you're proud of since you've been here.
One of the biggest things that stands out in my mind is not the most recent tornado, but when we had the tornado that went through Alto area. We had a lot of storm damage, and we had thousands of members out. And it was one of our first really major storms since Hurricane Ike. And once you get through all the disaster and you get through safely and you get that last member restored, you feel like you've conquered the world. I have jokingly said it's equivalent to our Super Bowl, that like you feel like you just did it. And but the very next day another storm can happen and you do it all again. But when you go through major events like Winter Storm Uri, I was so proud of what we did through that we kept our outages rotating, that we didn't leave people that we had control over out for extended days, weeks at a time during that whole event. And we figured it all out, and we keep going, and we keep people safe, and we get their power back to them.
Well, you talk about storms and stuff. I do have some breaking news for you. Summer in Texas is very hot.
Just hot early.
And it came early, and it just fell right on top of it. So obviously people are thinking about ACs and all the rest. What is the outlook? How does it look this summer? We're already hearing of problems in other parts of the state as far as not problems, I should say, but the possibilities of overloads to the system. What is your outlook on that? How do y'all work to counter that or fix that?
So the outlook is capacity is more scarce. So the way the electric system is designed and what it operates for is you have to plan for those peak maximum usage days. And we've had a lot of coal baseload generation units retire over the years in every market, not just our ERCOT market, in SPP, MISO, other markets, which leaves leaner capacity. Solar and other wind renewables, they're great, but you can't call on them and you can't increase output rapidly. And that spinning reserve is really important. So generally, whether it's this hot summer that we're seeing or cold freezing days in winter, we're seeing a lot more scarcity situation, which means higher energy costs. It's the simple supply and demand chain where, the more demand there is, the higher the price will be, until you reach maximum output. And then at that point, what we're designed for is to protect the grid overall, which is why in Winter Storm Uri you go into load shed events and why it's happened in other markets. You start shedding load to protect the infrastructure from just cratering because it's really hard to bring it back up. So just the complexity of the new energy environment has changed the way we operate a great deal. We never used to think about, are we going to have enough capacity? And running this hard this early in the summer is tough on those generation units. Yeah. Forced outages when things break because they're running 24/7 all out capacity. It's just a fragile environment, and every day I think it's a miracle that we all have electricity to the level that we do.
Well, Ms. Calvert, last question. I know you do other activities in the community and stuff, so tell us about some of those and kind of what this Houston County and your surrounding counties and community means to you.
Oh, I'm involved in several things from Lions Club to First United Methodist Church, and also I serve on the appraisal board. So I'm heavily engaged, and I just think so highly of East Texas and Crockett and this community. I am so proud and honored to be a part of it, to engage with, our members here and the public and help move our little part of the world a little bit further to make it better for others. I'm happy that my kids are raised here and that people know them by name and know who they are and look out for them. It's a wonderful place, and I could not have found a better spot to